So question one is, should eusa retain both of the current 2 undergraduate school representative positions for each school? And is there anyone to take this speech? Part of the yes campaign? Can I talk here or?
At the moment, we already have 2 school reps for undergrads in every school. At the moment, I'm school rep for informatics along with Kolosh as my other half, effectively. I couldn't do the role without him. Neither of us could do it without the other. Between us, we attend class rep meetings with our director of teaching there as well every Monday. We have school committees like Teaching and Learning Committee that comes up every month. We have focus groups on the future of the school. We have staff student liaison committees that we try to be in our school as well, for every one of them. We are there as a layer between the students, class reps, ComSoc, society for academic society for our school, and the school. We help flag up recurring issues, things that have happened every year that have come up again and again and again. It's really important to have someone there that's able to do that. We have lots of contacts in school because we've been there for a while. We know what happens, we know how the school works, and we're a really good guide to people on how to get their problems resolved. Also, as part of our role, we organise events. There's a Ceilidh takes place every year that the school reps organise. We're currently trying to get that sorted for later in the semester. But the vast majority of the work we do isn't even in these meetings, it's casework. We get emails every week from students who have problems with some of their courses, whether it's coursework deadlines that are needing extended, that mark feedback is not good enough, lecture quality, or just any academic issue. Basically, without the 2 of us, we couldn't do all of this work. The cost of having 2 school reps, basically nothing. The resources required to have a second school rep for eusa, negligible. And I know that in most schools, school reps aren't allowed the level of engagement that we are in the School of Informatics. We're very lucky in our school. But to cut down to just 1 school rep would be to deny schools the opportunity to have that level of engagement with their school reps. With only 1, you can't do all the things that we do. So I'd encourage you to back the motion or question.
Thank you. Is there anyone to slip as part of the no campaign for this question? Nobody? We'll move straight on to questions then. Are there any questions from that?
Bearing in mind what you've already said, would you therefore push for more school reps than 2? I mean, it sounds like you've got quite a heavy burden. Do you not think that eusa should see, 3, 4, or 10, let's say, school reps?
I think with 2 of us, there's a lot of work, but we can get it done. I think going for 3 or 4, at the moment we struggle in some schools to even get 2 people to run. We can in most schools, and I think we do actually have 2 school reps, so I think 2 is a good sort of number, personally. But yeah, if you would want more, then yeah, just ask another question next referendum.
You used your school as a really good example, and it is. However, do you not think it would be better to have 1 school rep for a school that just now has an unaccountable, unknown 2 reps who just have very little contact with their school, so that there can be increased accountability and 1 name to remember for students as to who their rep is?
I'm not sure that the number of reps really affects accountability, in my opinion. I think that you can easily, if you just got 1 school rep, they can be completely distant and unaccountable as well. We have no system of recall for school reps anyway, so I think as well that you're a law student, aren't you, Andrew? Yeah. In your school, you've got the vet school council as well, so you've got a lot of the stuff that school reps have to do in other schools is taken by them, so you have the accountability through them as well. Which in other schools, like we have our Monday meetings of class reps, that's all we have really in my school.
How much does it cost to have 2 reps per school per academic year?
How much does a school rep cost for a school? Basically nothing. In my school, we don't get paid anything, we're voluntary. The only resources that would be is eusa would have to train more school reps when it was doing its training. It's eusa that does that, not the schools that do it. And they'd have to have bigger rooms for meetings that were involving all school reps probably. That's the only resources that I can think of that would be larger.
I don't really know much about this motion, to be honest. I presume that the reason why it's had to be brought is because of the new constitution is changing this. So I guess this isn't a criticism of you, but I guess why didn't any of us see this coming before before the new constitution was submitted and stuff like. I don't know if you've got an answer to that. But.
I think this did come up in focus groups, and I can't remember whether I either misunderstood what was happening. There will still be 2 school reps for each school, but one will be postgrad, one will be undergrad. The amount of undergrad work that there is that's basically what I'm saying. We need the 2 for undergraduates and the postgraduate rep for each school. I think I misunderstood, and I thought there was going to be 2 school reps. Didn't realise one was postgrad, one was undergrad, and that would be that problem.
Given I haven't done the math, could you explain how big academic forum would be with 1 school rep and how big it would be with 2 school rep, please?
There are 22, well, for a start, the forums that we're going to have on the new constitution are as big as the number of people that turn up to them, so we're going to have to book quite big rooms anyway. There are 22 schools, I think, in the university, so that would be 3 times 22, 66 reps in total, 1 postgrad to undergrad for each school, as well as sabbaticals and other offers that might be involved.
That's incorrect. There are also campaign reps, academic campaign reps. There are also reps from each deliberation campaign.
There's other reps that throughout things. I don't know what number they would be, but I was just giving a score and answer.
Yeah, I guess this is just a point of clarification. Like, I don't really know much about this either. I'm assuming it was reduced from 2 to 1 for a reason. What was that? Do you know?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not out there.
Point of information. There wasn't a very strong reason for doing it. It was mainly because we were trying to keep the elected membership of the forums smaller, in order that ordinary students could come along and ordinary students in inverted commas could come along and have their say. It was also to boost proportionally postgraduate representation on the academic forum. So those are 2 reasons. Neither massively strong, but
yeah. Well, I can see the stuff like in eusa, the size of meetings could become an issue, but to be honest, I think if we start having meetings where there's too many people at them, we've done incredibly well. We've never had that problem before, except for 1 general meeting once. I don't necessarily think that's going to be a problem. I think actually the issues in schools with the level of work there is for undergraduate school reps are the thing I'm focusing on with this.
Is there any more questions?
One final thing, just following on from what Andrew was saying about accountability, it's more about communication really. I think there's a real problem with school reps at the moment not communicating to each other, the 2 people. How would you obviously have a great example of a great working relationship with your class reps and school reps, but how would you suggest that you can improve that in other schools, because it doesn't work in my school?
I think the best way actually is to encourage schools to be engaging with their school reps. If the schools are actually getting their school reps in, sitting down in meetings with the school, allowing them to actually have input to what's going on in the school and a say in some of it, then actually you get more engaged school reps. And you, like myself in college, we'll be able to do half the stuff that we do if it wasn't the fact that our school invites us to these meetings. Our director of teaching runs the Monday meetings. He's the person that organises them. He's always there. Because we can actually have an effect, we are always working on this stuff and we're always working together because we're always in the same place, in the same meeting, discussing the same stuff, so it works that way.
Hi, thanks. If I were a student, would agree with this. I agree with it even though I'm not a student. But what I was going to say is that there are other ways in which you can do engagement. Some of the best models of representation are on the University Medical Student Council, the Vet Students Council, the Law Students Council.
What's the problem?
Sorry, Peter, I'm sure your question's really good. I'm not sure that you're allowed to ask it. You're not a student.
There's no rules.
There's no rules about that. Right, my mistake.
You're allowed to ask to reserve the right to
sorry, there are other models of representation that could enhance what's being done. If this doesn't pass, or even if it does, it might be worthwhile looking at some of those models as well as more reps on student council, because that's not the be-all and end-all of representation. In fact, I think it should probably go beyond that.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me ask the question.
I think, again, it's not so much the student council and eusa that I'm looking at this from, it's the actual work that is doing in the schools, the amount of casework. I mean, that's kind of my focus. I think, yeah, there are issues. I mean, we've abolished student council, it's just the academic forum now, but yeah, it is just what's happening in schools. I think the level of work there is too much for one person.